Today's the feast of St. Michael and all angels, and I'm going to read you a book from the Bible, a story from the Bible. It's from the book of Tobit. I'm going to tell it in my own words. Once there was an old blind man called Tobit who lived in a city called Nineveh. Tobit had once been a rich merchant, but when he became blind he could no longer work and so became poor. Tobit had a son called Tobias. One day Tobias found a bill showing that a man called Gabriel, who lived many miles away in the city of Ecbatana, owed his father a lot of money. When he told his father about the bill, Tobit became very excited. "I'd forgotten all about this money," he said. "You must go to Ecbatana and get it back for us, Tobias, so that we can buy food." "I can't go to Ecbatana," said Tobias, who was a bit soft. "It's a long way away. I might get attacked by robbers or wild animals. I might get lost in the desert and die of sunstroke. I might fall into the quicksands or get swallowed up in the swamps of Swarma. I might get eaten by a crocodile buried under a rockfall. I might—" "Don't be so soft," said Tobit. "It's time you behaved like a grown-up. You're nearly 35. Don't you want your mother and I to be able to eat in our old age?" "Yes, of course I do," replied Tobias, feeling ashamed. "I'll go to Ecbatana for you." Tobit knew that his son was right about the dangers of the journey, and that Tobias might well get killed trying to get to Ecbatana, so he decided to hire a minder for him, someone who could go on the journey with Tobias to help him to face the dangers. He had a little money left to pay a bodyguard, so he put an advertisement in the local post office window asking for a companion. Only one man answered the advert, but that didn't matter because he seemed a perfect choice. He was a big and strong man who looked a bit like Superman, which isn't surprising really because he was a guardian angel. He was an archangel. He was the Archangel Raphael. Because Tobit was such a good and kind man, God had sent one of his archangels to help him. Raphael pretended that he was a man called Azarius, and he told Tobit that he had been to Ecbatana many times, and that he had always dealt with any bandits, crocodiles, snakes, man-eating plants, and badly behaved children without any difficulty. So Tobias and Azarius, who was really Raphael, set off for Ecbatana. A few days' journey through the suburbs of Nineveh took them to the river Tigris, and their first problem. "I can't swim," said Tobias. "No problem," replied Azarius. "I took the liberty of bringing some inflatable water wings. Just put them on and off we go." Tobias blew up the water wings as hard as he could and followed Azarius into the river. Azarius swam across very quickly, as one might expect an archangel to, but Tobias found things a lot harder. As he splashed his way into the middle of the river, a large and hungry fish, sensing an easy meal, swept through the river towards him. "Help! There's something after me!" shouted Tobias. "And I can't swim either!" "Don't panic," called Azarius. "Keep calm. Try and grab the fish. We might need it." "I can't!" screamed Tobias. "Help!" "Of course you can," called Azarius. "Pull that fish out with you and don't be so soft." Tobias grabbed at the fish as it lunged after him and just managed to drag it to the other side of the river, where Azarius helped him to pull it ashore. "Now cut out the fish's heart, liver and gall," said Azarius. "You'll need them later." Replied Tobias. "What do we need them for?" "Never mind now," said Azarius. "Just do it." "All right," said Tobias, and he cut the parts out of the fish while holding his nose and looking away. Azarius told Tobias to put the bits of the fish into his bag, and the two of them continued their journey. They crossed the dreary desert, the slimy swamp, and the weary wilderness, and when a gang of bandits attacked, Azarius chased them off. They eventually reached Ecbatana and the house of Gabriel. When Gabriel was reminded that he owed Tobit some money, he was more than happy to repay it. Tobit had helped him to become wealthy, and he was sorry to hear that he had fallen on hard times. While they were at his house, Tobias fell in love with Gabriel's beautiful daughter Sarah, and he told his new friend Azarius that he would have liked to marry her if only he were rich and handsome. Azarius said that Sarah wouldn't mind that he was not rich, and that she might think he was handsome, even though he wasn't. He told him that he should believe in himself and not think he wasn't worthy of her. Azarius managed to persuade Tobias that he should ask Sarah to marry him. Much to his surprise, Sarah said that she would love to marry Tobias, and arrangements were made for their wedding. However, when Gabriel heard that Tobias and Sarah were to get married, he seemed to get very sullen about it, and not happy at all, as one might expect. "Does Gabriel not like me?" Tobias asked his friend Azarius the night before the wedding. Of course he does, replied Azarius with certainty. That's why he's so sad. Hey, what do you mean? Asked Tobias nervously. Oh, nothing to worry about. Nothing much, replied Azarius. What do you mean, nothing much? Well, it's just that Sarah's been married once or twice before, and well, husbands have always died on their wedding night, said Azarius. What, died? How did they die? Shouted Tobias. Mysteriously, replied Azarius helpfully. She's had 2 husbands, and they both died mysteriously on their wedding night, said Tobias. I didn't say 2, replied Azarius calmly. You said 1 or 2, emphasised Tobias. Well, yes, but the actual number was a few more. But it's nothing to worry about. A few more? How many more? Well, 7, actually. 7? 7 husbands, and they all died on their wedding night? Wailed Tobias. That's right, 7. Then I'll be number 8, stated Tobias obviously. Yes, 7 plus 1 equals 8, said Azarius. Angels are usually good at maths. But how did they all die? Oh, some people think that Sarah murdered them while they were asleep. But that's not what happened at all. Oh, good. So what did happen? Asked Tobias. Something much worse, replied Azarius calmly. A demon killed them. A demon? What kind of a demon? An evil spirit from hell. Name of Asmodee, said Azarius in a friendly way. Apparently he quite likes Sarah, and he's jealous of all the people she marries. So he kills them, finished Tobias. That's it, replied Azarius. Look, we've got the money we came for. Isn't it time we were getting back to Nineveh? Dad'll be getting worried. But what about the wedding? Asked Azarius innocently. What about it? Asked Tobias. I've heard a 3rd time lucky, but 8th time. Oh, don't worry about old Asmodee, said Azarius. I'll sort him out for you, no trouble. You'll sort out a demon from hell? What are you, one of the Ghostbusters? Something like that. You leave Asmodee to me, said Azarius. It's all right for you to say that. I'm the one you'll be gunning for, replied Tobias. Look, I got you across the dreary desert and the slimy swamp, and I helped you to escape from that fish, didn't I? Well, yes, but... There you are, then. You leave Asmodee to me. Well, all right, I suppose you have a point. I don't really want to walk out on Sarah, and if you can help us in any way... Spoken like an archangel, said Azarius. Now here's what you do. When you get married tomorrow, I want you to burn a plate of incense, and I want you to place the liver of that fish you killed on the plate and put it in the window of your room. That'll keep evil Asmodee out. It'll stink, said Tobias. A burning fish's liver. Oh. Demons don't like the smell of fish, said Azarius. Have you ever seen a demon in a fish and chip shop? Well, there you are then. As long as you burn the fish to keep him out, I'll deal with old Asmodee. The next evening, after a wedding where nobody smiled except the undertakers, Tobias did as Azarius had told him. The fish liver made a terrible smell, but most of the fumes blew out of the window, and Sarah and Tobias were able to breathe. Then about midnight, as Tobias was just dozing off to sleep, he noticed a hideous, slimy, green, scaly creature slithering over the garden wall outside the window. So my beloved Sarah is married again, hissed a terrifying voice. Help! Shouted Tobias as the horrifying demon slithered towards the window. Another husband to kill, began the demon, but as it crept through the window, its red flaring nostrils caught the smell of the fish liver, and it slithered back out again in sudden alarm. Ah, what smell is that? hissed Asmodee. Not as evil a smell as you, Asmodee, called a commanding voice from behind the demon, and Tobias saw the most breathtaking creature he had ever seen, standing on the wall facing the demon. Clothed in golden armour, the figure looked like a man, but he had huge, white, majestic wings, and his face was surrounded by an aura of light. He held aloft a mighty silver sword, poised ready to strike the demon. This is the world of men, Asmodee, no place for a demon like you. Away back to hell, you slimy monster, said the golden figure, and he swung his sword around his head to show that he would strike the foul creature if he disobeyed. Asmodee screamed with a blood-chilling yell and slithered through the dimensions all the way back to hell. The next morning, Tobias woke up, relieved to find that he was still alive. Sarah and her family were even more surprised to find him alive. Tobias remembered the strange events he had witnessed the night before, but he was not sure whether it had been a dream. Azarius was not surprised to see Tobias alive, of course, for it was he who had chased off Asmodee. Now he was anxious that Tobias and Sarah should return with him to Nineveh, for there was still the last part of his mission on earth to carry out. The journey back to Nineveh was uneventful. There were no man-eating fish in the river Tigris, and any bandits kept well out of the way of our heroes. Finally, Tobias reached his hometown and the street where his family lived. "I've got one more little job for you before our journey ends." "Tobias," said Azarias, "just a little thing you'll be able to manage quite easily." "Of course, Azarias, you've been a wonderful companion all through this journey, and you've saved my life and encouraged me many times. Whatever you want me to do for you, I'll do gladly," said Tobias. "Good. I want you to rub the fish's heart and gall that you kept in your bag in your father's eyes when you meet him. That's all." "What?" shouted Tobias. "Have you gone crazy? How can I do something like that to my poor old blind dad?" "Didn't I save you from the man-eating fish, Tobias?" asked Azarias. "Yes, but..." "Didn't I lead you through the dreary desert safely?" "Yes, but..." "And the slimy swamp?" "Yes, but..." "And didn't I save you from the bandits and the demon Asmodee? And didn't I teach you to be brave and confident?" Yes, all right, you did all those things," replied Tobias. "I will do as you ask." As he spoke, his father came feeling his way down the street towards them. Tobias, is that you?" called the blind man. As Tobit approached, Tobias took a deep breath, and without further pause, he rubbed the bits of fish he had kept in his father's eyes. "Oh, what are you doing? My eyes, they sting so much," called Tobit. "What have I done?" said Tobias. "Why did I listen to you, Azarias?" "I can see you," said Tobit with surprising calm. I can see. My sight has been restored. Praise the Lord." Tobit looked about him. He saw the mud and brick houses of Nineveh. He saw his beloved son Tobias looking braver and stronger than he remembered. He saw Sarah, the beautiful woman he had married, and he saw Raphael in all his glory with his golden armour and wings. Now the others saw him too. "Azarias, what's happened to you?" called the startled Tobias. "You don't need me any more," said Azarias. You're an angel," stammered Tobias. "An archangel, actually," replied Raphael. "I'm the Archangel Raphael, and my mission here is accomplished. God bless you all." And with that he beamed back up to heaven. "Azarias, come back, we need you," called Tobias. "No, you don't," called the voice of Raphael. "You'll manage well enough now." And he was right. Archangels usually are. They lived happily ever after.